How we doing, everybody? Richard Fergola here from Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions, and man, do I've got an awesome video for you today, something that I don't think we've ever done, and we are going to do it on the barbecue pit, and I've got a special guest that's going to help me with this video today, and that is my mother, otherwise known as Mama Ferg.
Hi, everybody.
How are we doing? Do I get,
I'm
I
good.
get a hug? Okay, all right. So this is Mama Ferg. If you're out on the barbecue scene, then you have met her. If you haven't, she is a superstar. She is, when she cooks with me, what's your main job in my trailer?
Dishes.
Okay, and she does a very good job at that. She thinks it's not a very big job, but it is a very big job and it helps me out a lot. And which today you're gonna help me out. Well, you're gonna probably lead this project, but today we're gonna do something even better. And what is it that I grew up on?
Fergola spaghetti.
Yep, and?
Meatballs.
Meatballs, right? So spaghetti and meatballs, we're gonna do it on the smoker. It's gonna be awesome, and who knows? I may throw my own little twist in it. We'll see if she allows that. I don't know, we'll see. So we're gonna get our ingredients ready, and we're gonna start making some spaghetti and meatballs. All right, so Mom, you said we're making our spaghetti today.
We are.
And one of the biggest ingredients in our spaghetti is the meatballs, right?
Correct.
And so, what do we got going on here?
We've got hamburger, and then we've got sausage.
Okay. And so, what's our approximate ratio on making these meatballs?
Pretty much more hamburger than sausage.
Okay.
So it's like a pound of ground beef and a half pound of sausage.
Perfect.
Is the actual.
Okay. So we got our mixing bowl here. So let's go ahead and start putting some of those in there. And just so you know, man, we got the real deal here. We got the real recipe card here. It's got all the stains on it, like all the history and goodness on it. And you know, this should be framed someday in my house. But we've got that. That is from my grandmother, and it is awesome. So she's we got our hands all washed. We're all good. What comes next?
Next should be 3 eggs.
Can I crack the egg?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Because you are a cracked egg, right?
Okay, the jokes are already starting. All right, so we'll get a couple cracked eggs in there. All right, and what are the eggs for again? Like, what are we using the eggs for? It's a binder.
A binder.
Yeah, you just couldn't get that out?
It's a binder.
You couldn't get that out?
No, I couldn't. You threw me there for a minute.
All right, so the egg is gonna actually help the meatball stay tight together, so when it starts to cook, the meat doesn't come apart, it stays close together. So what comes in next?
Next should be garlic salt.
Okay.
Half a teaspoon.
Gonna do a half a teaspoon of that. I'll mix that in while you're mixing. And then we follow up with the same amount of what? Sweet basil? Okay, we got some sweet basil.
Yes. And it must be sweet basil, not just plain basil.
It's got to be sweet, what, like you?
Yes.
Okay. I like basil. Smells good. All right, get that basil in there. All right, follow that up with, I think, we got a little Worcestershire. And you can use this brand, or we also here at Proud Souls, we have the W sauce, which is a Worcestershire sauce. You could use that as well.
Well.
Okay, oh, all right. Not much of that sauce. Okay, what do we got next?
Next should be the breadcrumbs.
We're gonna do about what, maybe like 1/4 of a cup?
Yep.
Okay.
Like that.
This is also gonna work as a binder as well. Okay. Got our breadcrumbs. Then we're gonna wanna come in with our Romano cheese. So you can use Romano cheese, you can use Parmesan cheese, there's a Parmesan Romano combo.
Yes.
You can use that, but we're using like a grated, shredded Romano. So we're gonna put that in there. And then I'm gonna add a little twist to these if you're cool. Are you okay with me kind of taking the recipe to another level?
Do I have a choice? Do I have a choice?
So we have some great products here. Urban Slicer it's a white pizza mojo. So
Okay.
it's got some Parmesan-y flavors to it, but I'll tell you what, we're just gonna do a little bit of this.
Okay.
Just gonna add a little bit to that. I think that's probably good.
Okay.
So you're gonna mix that in. And then once you get it all binded together, we're gonna start making meatballs, right?
All right, let's make
Okay,
them.
so let's slide this over.
Okay.
And now you can start making them right here if you wanna, so that everybody can see. Now,
Did
go
you
ahead.
want your big ones or the little ones? I like little balls. He likes big balls. The reason I like to make them smaller is because they don't take as long to cook. And at my house, when the family is there, they're ready to eat.
Okay, so this is about what we're looking for, right?
Yeah, right about
okay.
like that.
So if you had to put a measurement on that, that's probably like what, about 1/4 cup of of meatball?
About a quarter cup.
Okay.
Yes.
This is the real deal. This is the real deal right here. This is coming from an Italian family. I grew up on these meatballs. I've made them a million times, but you're getting the queen of meatballs right here. So
Well, I'm sure the queen of meatballs goes clear back to great grandma Angelina that came over from Italy.
cue the Italian music. Cue the Italian music. All right.
All right.
Now what's your technique here? Like I noticed you didn't really do much of the rolling. You said you like to smash.
I like to smash.
Okay.
Because I think it makes it just a little bit smoother. I'm not into perfect like he is.
Competition barbecue has ruined me. Yep. Everything's got to look pretty.
Yep.
Because you eat with what first?
Your eyes.
Your eyes. You eat with your eyes first, right?
Yes.
So if it looks really good, everybody's going to want to eat them.
Right.
All right. So what we got? Like maybe one more after this?
One more.
Okay.
All right.
So once we get these meatballs, you can put them on a pan. So we've got like a pan right here, just a sheet tray. We put a little rack if you want. The reason why we're going to put the rack is that way the drippings are going to drip underneath, and we just got the meatball up here. You can put them straight on the pan if you want. You can put them in a baking dish, whatever you want. We're going to put these on the Yoder 640, and we're going to cook at 350 degrees
Correct.
for about 30 to 45 minutes, and then we'll kind of see where they're at. So we're going to get these on the smoker now, and we'll come back and make some sauce.
All right.
So the secret to this whole spaghetti and meatballs has got to be the sauce, or as they say in The Sopranos, gravy.
Okay.
Like Italians call sauce gravy sometimes.
Yes.
So do we go with the traditional, do we go that way, or do we just stick with sauce?
Sauce.
Okay, we're gonna stick with sauce.
Okay.
She's the boss here. She's the sauce boss. That's
The
what we're
boss.
about ready to do. All right, so again, you know, I'm looking at this recipe card, and I'm wondering how many things have been spilled on this card. And you can see on this, but I'm turning this over and I'm seeing other, so I see the spaghetti sauce recipe, and then I'm looking over here and there's like other recipes for something called, what is it, steak rolls. Steak rolls?
They would also take thin steak, pound it out, and she put a little bit of Worcestershire
Okay,
sauce on it.
that may be another video down the road.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
That was just a little preview. Okay, this is a little hint. All right, let's make this sauce
All right,
slash
let's
gravy.
make this sauce.
All right, what's first?
First is the tomato soup. Now, I first thought, why on earth would they have tomato soup? But when they came to the Americas in the early 1900s, apparently tomato soup was comparable to part of the sauce that they made from their ingredients from their huge farm that they had. So, and I found out that tomato soup was invented in 1895 and available for the masses in 1897.
Whoa!
So there you go.
History lesson on tomato soup. I love it. So this is in place of tomato sauce.
And you can use tomato sauce instead of tomato soup if you prefer.
Okay, so we're pouring the whole thing in?
Whole thing in.
Okay. I grew up on tomato soup all the time, grilled cheese, tomato soup. I don't eat it anymore though. So, all right, we got our tomato soup in.
Okay, we need some water.
Oh,
so,
okay.
so now we're going to put the tomato paste in, one can of tomato paste.
So the whole thing?
Whole thing.
Okay. All right, we're gonna get in there and get that whole.
And then depending on how thick you like your sauce, my family likes it a little bit thicker. Normally we would put 1 can of water from the tomato soup can and 1 can of water from the tomato paste to start off the sauce. But I'm just gonna have him put 1 can of water here because that's how my kids like it.
Okay, so we gotta get some water.
You gotta get that can full of water for me while I mush this around.
I'm gonna go get water. All right, so we're mixing up the tomato soup. We're mixing up the tomato paste. We've got our water ready. Does the water go in next, or can we start putting in other ingredients?
You can start putting in other ingredients if you'd like.
So what do we got next?
Next we have 1 teaspoon of sweet basil, again.
How much was that?
1 teaspoon.
Okay, so we're doing the
Thank
sweet
you.
basil. I got a little
Sweet
on the
basil.
cutting board.
That's all right.
Okay.
What's next?
And then, all right, you want to talk about brown sugar.
Ah, yes. Next is the brown sugar. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. A lot has been on Facebook recently about, does sugar go in spaghetti? Yes. In our particular family's Italian recipe of spaghetti, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Richard prefers light brown sugar. I prefer dark brown sugar. We're using light brown today.
Okay. I like the light brown sugar because it's a little sweeter. I've had it with the dark brown sugar, obviously, and it's
Obviously.
it's legit. So you can go either way with that.
Yep.
All right, so we got our brown sugar in there. Now we got our two tablespoons of
Vinegar.
and we're using apple cider vinegar.
Yes.
Okay. This is also going to add another little sweet and tangy flavor to the sauce. There's uno. Dos.
Thank you.
Okay. And then we're going to come in with 1 tablespoon of garlic salt, which could almost be this little lid here. That's a little trick I've learned. So it's about half of that lid.
You sure?
Yep, I know, I do it all the time. It smells like Easter right now because of the vinegar, like how we used to make eggs.
Yeah, eggs. Yep.
Okay.
All right, what's next?
So we're gonna do the 1 cup of granulated Romano cheese.
I want you just to see before the water's in how thick that is.
Yeah, go ahead and stir it in the camera there, turn it up so you can kind of see that texture.
Okay.
Okay, looks good. Here's our Romano cheese. And
That was 1 cup,
That
correct?
was 1 cup, yep.
Okay.
And then I am going to add what I like in there. I'm gonna add a little bit of the Parmesan as well. Not a whole
And in
lot.
a lot of stores, the only thing you can find is the Romano and Parmesan cheese mixed these days.
Okay, we gotta add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce, 6 or 7 shakes.
We're gonna use a little bit of the Baron Burton's W sauce.
Always changing things.
You tell me when.
Whoa.
Okay. That's gonna add a little bit of that savoriness, that boldness.
Oh, okay, I'll be excited to taste it. All right.
Okay, so the next ingredient says salt and pepper, but I think you know a guy, right? That's
I
maybe
know
got
this
something.
guy that I.
So I think maybe what fits really well here is my buttery garlic. So we got salt, pepper, garlic. We got a little bit of butter, which will add some sweetness to it.
I love the butter in that.
And you just tell me when. Oh,
Okay.
okay. All right. Got a little bit of that. Got that buttery garlic.
We use that the most at our house.
And so we got all that stirred together. And now we're gonna come in with our water, right?
Now we're going to come in with our water.
Okay.
Slowly,
Yep.
please. Whoa. Let me get that
See what that
mixed up.
does. And you can see the cheese in there. And I mean, it's just.
Okay, more.
A little bit more water.
Whoa.
Oh man, I'm just remembering my childhood right now. This is
Okay.
a little bit more.
Whoa. God dang, that's so much.
But I bet you're going to ask me to put more in, aren't you?
I
See?
am.
Oh, it's so much. Could you please put some more in? This is all technical here. This is all part of the plan.
Yes. Okay, now the last little bit, please.
All of it, or?
All of it. Okay.
Okay. Can I throw this one away? Or?
You may throw
Okay.
that away, sir.
All right. When you're making spaghetti meatballs with your mom, you always got to ask permission. Okay, so we're getting this all mixed up. Is this the texture you want, or because when it heats up, it's gonna thin
It
out as
thins
well?
out a little bit more, so you can see how it is. And that's why I don't put the second can of water in. But that's just our choice and our preference.
Yeah, so just a good way to kind of see that is just kind of pick some of that sauce up and see how it kind of, you can see the texture of that.
Yep.
So when this heats up, now we can do a couple things here. We can just heat this on our oven or our stove, but we could also put it on the smoker. If you don't want to add a smoke flavor to your sauce, we can just put some foil or put a lid on it. Preferably not this pan. This pan's not going to work in the smoker, but you can use like a cast iron, like a Dutch oven or whatever.
Sure.
Put that on there and boil it there if you just have the smoker going. So we're going to get this heated up. We're going to get our pasta made, and then check on those meatballs and see if we're about time to eat.
Sounds great.
Okay. Ooh, Mama Ferg.
I know, look.
We got pasta, we got meatballs, we got the sauce. We're ready to eat, right?
We are.
So let's recap what we cooked here. We had these meatballs on this tray. We had them on there for about, I think it was more like 40 minutes. About 40 minutes, anywhere between 350 and 400 degrees. It was a little colder outside today, so we pumped up the Yoder to 400 degrees. They are approximately 165, 170 degrees internal. We tested them with our thermopin. They have some nice softness. She made me break one open because she didn't believe me they were done. So I broke one open and they were done. They were done. Okay. So we've got all our ingredients here. You wanna put the pasta in here? Okay, you got it. So we got a bowl here. We strained our pasta, and we can set that over there to the side now. We got a nice big bowl of pasta here. We can cook it just past al dente, and then we've got some tongs here, and we're gonna grab some meatballs. We're gonna kind of put them in here. I mean, I like a lot of meatballs, so.
I know you do.
What do you think? Should we put one more in there?
Yeah.
Let's put one more in there. Is that enough?
One more right there.
Okay. Look at that. All right, and then we don't want to burn our hands there. Let's get the sauce over here, and I'll let you do the honors with that.
Are you sure?
So you're talking about mixing or not mixing the sauce.
Right. Richard prefers to not have the sauce mixed. He wants it on top. But Papa Fergola always mixed the pasta and then he served from the end of the table or the head of the table.
So I like to do it like this. I like to put the pasta down, I like to put the meatball on and put the sauce on top and then mix it myself. So,
correct.
All right, so do we have enough sauce?
For now,
okay,
yeah.
We have a little sauce. So I'm gonna put a little bit more of the sweet basil on.
Oh, it's sprinkle time, everybody.
Yep, this is what she likes to call it in competition, is sprinkle time. So we're gonna put a little bit of that, sweet basil over the top. Adds flavor, adds a little color. Boom. And then we're gonna come in with some Parmesan cheese, because you gotta have some Parmesan cheese, right? So some more sprinkle time.
Yeah.
I don't have that fancy thing that like Olive Garden has, you know, where they like grate it in there or whatever.
We don't need that. I'm not fancy.
Okay, so now we gotta try one of these. We gotta try one, right?
We do. I do want to mention one thing about the pasta.
Yeah.
We only use thin spaghetti. You can find it in almost any store.
All right, we gotta add one last topping on there. We gotta put just one little more sprinkle of the Richard Fergola buttered garlic. Just a little hit on the top, like that. All right, so should we try one of these meatballs?
I should hope so.
Okay, let's get one of this. Let's just get this guy out here.
Okay.
And I'll just cut it in half here, and we'll both, or we could do like the Lady and the Tramp scene or something like that, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Here you go.
Cheers. Best spaghetti you'll ever have.
All right, check out this content and all other content at Proud Souls BBQ on YouTube. You're gonna love this. It's on your smoker. It's spaghetti meatballs made from Mama Ferg herself. Check it out.
Bye, everybody.